Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. I think, as you all have heard, we've decided to part ways with Ron Rivera. We appreciate Ron's efforts and everything he did for the franchise. I mean, obviously, he came here during a tumultuous time period, the ownership change, and he really added leadership. But clearly, we weren't good enough this year. We didn't get it done on the field, and so we've decided to go into a new direction. And I think, as you probably heard, I'm going to be leading that search, both for a head of football operations as well as a head coach. And I'm going to be assisted by my partners, Irvin Magic Johnson, Mitch Rails, and David Blitzer, as well as a couple very well-known sports executives, Bob Myers, who I've known for many years and have a tremendous amount of respect for, and Rick Spielman, who obviously is a 30-year football executive of the year, obviously 10 years with the Vikings. Obviously Bob Myers built one of the amazing sports teams of the last decade in the Golden State Warriors. They were tough to compete with, so I got to know him. And, even though this season was hard for me and hard for us, it's hard to win.
I got to listen to the whole thing.
From my point of view, we are coming out of this
What's
with
the problem? You haven't heard it yet.
Poised for a great future.
All right.
A lot of draft.
He sounds like Mike McDaniel's.
It's open for three.
I guess we don't have. I suppose we don't have to listen to this one either, right? I was playing it for Stevie. Stevie hasn't heard it yet.
He sounds like Theo Vaughn. That's my favorite comedian. Okay,
it's a great start we're off to here.
The Mike McDaniel's as a billionaire is exactly what he sounds like.
Well, but it's nice to hear from the owner, right? We haven't heard from the owner of the team in quite a while, if I'm not mistaken. It's been a long time.
Happy Thanksgiving, I think, was the last time he spoke.
That's right. Since Happy Thanksgiving. I think he did one more after that, LP, if I'm not mistaken. I think there was one more incident, maybe with the name change. I think he spoke on 2/2/22.
Yeah, on the stage with the mannequins.
Yeah, and it was I don't remember the joke he tried to make. I know it didn't. I know it didn't stick. Like Stevie's boy, Joe Coy with the Globes. That was that was a bad night. Bad beat for that guy. He went from making jokes and Filipino accents to never working another show again. But anyway, look, it's a big week here in DC sports. The season is over. Ron was fired. Unless you're legitimately living under a rock, I think everyone saw this coming. I want to start, FP, with you. You had a hot take with the two Martys. These guys shouldn't still be here. They're still here, as far as I know. Have they been let go? Or are they still employed by the Commanders at this point?
One of them was let go. I think the other one is still here.
No, neither are let go.
Neither. They're both still here?
Both are still here.
Yeah, then that's criminal. There's no reason to retain any of them.
I don't even know why we're discussing this. They will be let go once they hire their top guy.
Why do they have any input? Why are they here?
Why don't have any input?
Then why are they
still
just here?
Come in and sweep the whole organization and clean out the whole building. Like
you need to if it's this organization.
Why not?
That's what Dan Snyder does.
No.
Stevie, what would Ted
Dan would come in here and put spoiled milk all over.
Dan Snyder would hire Jim Harbaugh, which is a bitch-ass move. Okay, and that's why.
Don't get me started.
Are you out on Harbaugh already?
Don't get me started.
Yeah, because it's a Snyder retread, and I'm done with that. Give me the youngest, dorkiest offensive guy. His name is probably Ben Johnson. Give him to me. I don't want to know the name of my next head coach.
Well, so who's it going to be then, Stevie? Who's it going to be?
Some guy I don't know that wears his pants like Mike McDaniel, hopefully.
Yeah, see, this is the real angle. You want somebody you can look at and say, hey, I want to look like that guy. Hey, I want to be mistaken for that guy when I walk around DC.
Mike McDaniel's pants have done more good for me than Jim Harbaugh has done for Michigan, okay?
Hey, maybe start tucking in your sweatshirt into your khakis, see how much tail you can get.
Listen, I want some guy from the Ravens. They're pursuing a bunch of guys from the Ravens. Take the 49ers guys, any of those guys.
Harbaugh is a 49ers guy, technically.
No,
and he's related to the Ravens.
Harbaugh's not going to happen.
LP,
he doesn't fit the organization.
Yeah,
he literally said we're splitting
What does fit the organization mean? Nothing should fit into
everything that you just heard for the last 2 minutes that Joe made you listen to. We talked about splitting responsibilities.
The big takeaway yesterday,
not going to come for that.
The big takeaway Monday morning, it really did catch me by surprise that they hired a basketball guy to come hire the football guy. Like I want to trust the process. And Harris,
they hired a sports executive to come and advise on running a franchise.
Yeah, you wouldn't.
He's not picking.
You wouldn't hire your partner to fix your roof, right? Like these are not. They're not the same sport. They're
ridiculous thing, LP. If this was Dan Snyder, we would be all over him. Harris is given the biggest leash.
We can no longer Steph Curry. We can't bring up Dan Snyder anymore. Stop bringing him into any discussions. He is gone. This is Harris only, and everybody needs to drop the Snyder PTSD and look at Harris as a brand new owner because that's what he is.
Okay,
fine. Then don't judge him on a curve. Don't just say
nobody's judging him on a curve. He has brought himself in an advisory committee to help him figure out how to hire a new GM. The advisory committee isn't his GM.
He didn't hire them yesterday, right? These guys have probably been in play for months.
Yes.
Right? And they probably were instrumental to help move the Montez and the as part of the Sweat and the Chase deals. Like it didn't just all happen yesterday miraculously.
What should be impressive is that nobody knew about them being anywhere near this team.
It didn't leak. Fine. But there's still, I mean, unless he wants the Warriors guy to help him get the name Warriors, or unless he wants the guy who's been with the Vikings for 2 decades, who's been out of football for a decade, to help him, bring Kirk back to DC, which is personally my preference, then I don't know what value these guys add in today's NFL.
He's a sports executive.
Yeah, you have to look at
so is Eugene Chen.
That's like saying Elon Musk was a what was the first Tesla guy, right? And then SpaceX, like he can't do both. No,
you have to look.
We have exactly one Elon Musk on the planet. I don't think that's a realistic.
Okay, Bob Myers turned the Warriors franchise around.
No, he didn't.
Four championships.
No. He didn't draft the Splash Brothers. He didn't draft.
He's also friends with Adam Peters, the guy that they're trying to bring in as president of football ops from the Niners.
Okay, but they leaked. Okay, but
yesterday he's also friends with Harbaugh's guy.
There's a zillion names that were already leaked that they're going to interview for head coach. They don't have a GM.
It's not leaked if you're out there saying we are going to interview everybody that's good. Yeah, they're reporting it.
Yeah, you have happy there's no leaks. Well, what is the CIA?
It's not no leaks. Leaks would be I'm trying to keep this a secret, and Diana Rossini sucked the D and got the news out. Right? That's a leak. We've experienced that.
It's Ron calling Adam and saying, "Hey, it's my birthday, so I can blow out my candles. Don't
fire me." Yeah, where's that going to come from? It's a good pull, Stevie.
What's happening is you have to look at the franchise 2 separate prongs. One is business side. One is sports side. Okay. You're bringing in somebody. This is the equivalent of going to a headhunter and saying find me somebody really good that can come in, that can lead this business. That is all that's happening right now. The headhunter just happens to be a sport exec from a different team. But sport execs know sport execs know sport execs. There's no issue here.
I want to believe everything you're saying. But if that's the case, and these guys have already been in place for months, then you come out on the day and you say, these guys have been working with us over the last couple of months to identify this, and that, so that we can move forward quickly through this. It just seemed like the communication of what was happening post Ron being let go, the Marty staying, are they leaving, whatever. It just very Redskinsy.
The communication was clear. It was concise. Statements were released. And then we immediately, compared to any other team, we're saying, these are who we're going after. We're going after 1, 2, 3. We're going after ABC. These are the guys we're targeting, and we're swift and quick to action. Nothing bad about that in today's world when the pool of the people that you want is limited and there's a lot of openings. So you have to be the decisive franchise that goes out there that makes the moves quickly.
But you're also
a Snyder move would be we're not going to tell anybody anything. Everybody gets hired, and then we get the last bum that nobody wanted. That's a Snyder move. And then they tried to gaslight the franchise into thinking that's who we wanted all along.
Also, nothing got leaked from the Snyder regime without Snyder signing off on it. Like, if you think about it, Ron Rivera, there was no leaks of Ron ever coming here. right? But then like the Gruden thing and the McLuhan thing, like those are all Dan Snyder signed off on leaks.
Yes.
Anyways, I don't know why we're talking about Dan Snyder anymore. He's been
you
gone.
Keep bringing him up.
I don't know why you're angry about hiring a sports executive to help you lead a search. Like, who cares? What matters is who is the person that you get, where are they coming from, what are their qualifications, and how they build this team. Like, you're not going to be able to judge any hire until probably 2-3 years down the road.
If they get that long. But FP, you've been big on Harbaugh from the beginning. Stevie's clearly not on Harbaugh at all. But based on what you saw yesterday, I mean, he did what he set out to do in Michigan, assuming he throws his hat into the, potential pool of NFL, head coach hires. I agree with you. I don't think DC is a good fit because he's going to want full control over the roster and the coaching. And I don't know if Harris is going to move in that direction, given what the team just went through with Ron. But would you be really, I mean, Stevie, I guess, I don't know. Why are you so opposed to him, Stevie? He won with San Francisco with, arguably a similar roster.
Yeah, this is going to be hard because I have no facts to back this up. Okay, and FP's got facts, but it feels like, am I allowed to say Snyder? I'm getting yelled at if I say Dan Snyder. It feels like a Redskins move. How about that?
Yeah.
Okay, it feels like let's get the flashiest. It feels like Steve Spurrier. I mean, the similarities are there, right? A college football kind of mega god who, whatever. It feels like that kind of move when everything in the sport trends towards new, exciting, young, data-driven, analytics-driven. And maybe I don't know enough about Jim Harbaugh. That's very possible. And maybe he is that. And maybe he's evolved probably the way his brother has. But to me, it's riskier, which is weird because he's had so much success. It feels riskier than a young OC DC that has proven to adapt to the new league. It feels riskier.
The intrigue with Ben Johnson is interesting because he hasn't done anything on his own, right? And head coaching in the NFL is a completely different beast than being a coordinator. So to say, okay, you ran the offense for the Lions really well. Well, a lot of that is also Dan Campbell is on top of that team, and it's his DNA of that team. And Ben Johnson's just going to work.
Okay, wait a second. Okay, FP.
Harbaugh's DNA as a head coach has been proven in San Francisco. He turned that franchise around. They went to 3 straight NFC championship games. They went to a Super Bowl with Kaepernick. He's 42-19-1 as a head coach in the NFL. The Niners were crap before him. He stabilized them. They did really well. And then
they were medium.
Okay,
3 NFC championship games in a row is not medium.
No. I'm saying before him, they were
saying before.
No, the Singletary years were terrible.
They had a good defense.
Okay, FP's bringing receipts, which annoys me. But listen, let me ask you a question. Listen, okay, and I respect everything he just said. What does a head coach actually do? Let's kind of go existential here. Is like, what is the head coach's job? Man. And I think if we define that, we could all agree on a consensus number one.
I mean, you have to stamp the team with your DNA, and
I don't know what that means.
No, you have to find the pieces.
I think
that'll execute what you want to happen.
Your
right?
head coach on the field is going to channel the team. The team is going to channel his vision, so to speak. With Ron, it was very.
Ron was undefined. That was his issue.
Yeah, a lot of just standing around waiting for other people kind of to do something. I think you look at the stud coaches around the league, a lot of whom are former Redskins guys. They like McVay. That team channels McVay, right? It's very X's and O's driven, very scheme heavy. Very we're going to get this guy open and we're going to target him 100 times. You see that with McDaniels as well. You see that ironically with Shanahan. Like all these guys are kind of cut the same way. You look at a team like the Lions. Their head coach is just a tough dude who's going to go for it on
kneecaps.
He's going to go for it for 2-point conversions, even though he's backed up, and he's going to do it again. And then he's going to run the play. Like his DNA carries over to the next week where they do it just to say we know how to do it, and
right.
Which is what they did this past week. So I think the head coach Harbaugh is interesting to me because he has proven NFL experience. It's taken him, almost a decade to get 9 years right at Michigan, I think now at this point, but he got it done. I don't remember any of his players coming out and saying like we're gonna die on a hill for this guy. Like that's the piece I don't remember. Maybe I got to go back and just kind of think through it. He got into some hot water with the Kaepernick stuff towards the end of his run there. That he kind of, if I remember correctly, I feel like he lost the team because he mismanaged the quarterback play specifically towards that back half of
nobody at that timeline was going to manage the entire.
You're right.
Kaepernick issue,
You're right. Like,
so.
but I do agree with Steve that I think the modern NFL today, these coaches, Jay Gruden had a lot of what I'm personally looking for in the next coach. Somebody who's going to keep it light during practice. He's going to have Deshaun come around and flick his nipples and whatever, and just kind of keep it light, but like can scheme the guys open. Like I don't know. Like we saw it with this.
Jay back? Is that what you're saying?
I mean,
nobody wants Camp Jay to come back. Nobody wants Camp Jay. The thing with Harbaugh is he is.
With EB, hold on. Just one thing with EB when he came in here, right, and he tried to make the guys practice, they immediately were like, "Hey, we don't do that here," right? So either you're gonna change, either you're gonna swap the roster, which maybe you're gonna do anyway, or frankly maybe just EB was the wrong fit. And LP, I saw what you posted here. Like, wouldn't it be spectacular if somehow the Chiefs could sign Bieniemy right now and basically plug him right back in for their playoff run? I mean, I don't know if that's even possible because he's
being blocked by the Commanders because he's under contract for another year and they haven't fired him. So it's being blocked.
EB needs to get the hell out of here, man. He needs to go wherever the president of Harvard went. They got the same haircut almost.
Disclose.
Isn't she a running backs coach? No. The point is Harbaugh. I think Harbaugh is your perfect combination of wanting like a Bill Belichick and then wanting a Ben Johnson. He kind of bridges. What I'm saying is he bridges those two coaching types, right? He will have your.
It didn't work here. I don't know why we're even talking about him.
FP,
we're talking about Harbaugh.
If Jim Harbaugh interviews for
EB.
FP, if Jim Harbaugh interviews and said, "I would like to be the GM and coach," and
I am out on that.
Well,
I just want him as
he wants.
coach.
That's what's going to
happen.
happen.
So why are we talking
about
this?
He never said
again?
he wanted that.
No,
LP, we are on a podcast. We are here to discuss things. Stop asking why we're discussing things.
Talk about things that are realistic. Let's talk about Bobby Slowick, Ben Johnson.
Bobby Slowick's the most unrealistic candidate. He's not going to come back to the Washington Redskins.
Why is he unrealistic? If he's not coming back, then you wouldn't accept an interview.
No, I think he's very realistic.
I think he's very realistic.
You spent
there are 32 jobs of this
5
type
years in a slum in Manassas, and then you move away somewhere great, and then the slums of Manassas say, "Hey, come back." Are you going back?
I love where FP's head is right now. He's ricking on coaches, and he hates all the females. He's all over the place. But look, Slowick, I think is a
what
possibility.
What did
I'll tell you. Listen, I shared my thoughts privately. I do not, and I'll just say them here. I don't want them to draft a quarterback. I watched every second of that terrible game. I was reminded for 3 quarters why I don't care about college football at all. But I wanted to see this Penix kid and see what he can do. He's a lefty, which is kind of cool, but he slings it. He doesn't follow through. I know he's playing injured. I don't want him, right? If you want to take a late round, 3rd, 4th round pick on him, fine. But he doesn't deserve to be the 2nd overall pick.
Nobody was ever saying he would be.
He's not in the conversation.
My point is, I personally, I would love to see Kirk come back to DC, and I don't think it's impossible. I would love to see them go.
Hit me with a who cares real quick.
Yeah, exactly.
I want Kirk. I want Harrison Jr. to be to play opposite Jahan and Terry, and I want they can go find a tight end somewhere else. That's what I want to roll with. I want them to trade down, or even let Howell go for.
That's more unrealistic than your dream of getting Herbert from the Chargers.
I'll take Fields. I mean, if they want to give us Fields, we'll take Fields.
So Kirk actually had an issue with living in the Northern Virginia area. That's why he wanted to move. Like he didn't like living in Ashburn.
He likes money. He'll come back.
Yeah. What does he have a problem with the wineries or what?
Yeah.
No, it's
not enough mega churches around.
Right? Yeah.
Listen, for the right amount of money, he comes back. Will it happen?
Build his own mega church for as much as he's expecting.
He can do whatever he wants, but you can't. Like they cannot draft Penix, and I don't think Caleb will be there at 2. To be very honest, I believe
Caleb or Drake May. That's the talk. Right
I mean, the realistic conversation is it's one of those 2. Okay, and then if you want to go Ben Johnson for Stevie, Drake May.
Yes,
he's the North Carolina guy, right? Ben Johnson was North Carolina. Howell's North Carolina. You have that connection between all three, which could work in your favor.
I'm shocked that a North Carolina quarterback is the second best quarterback in college football, right? Like they're the ACC. Like, did they even beat Virginia Tech? Like, what was their record?
He was.
I think you're putting
Heisman. He was in the Heisman conversation.
He was in the Heisman.
How many games did he win against the ACC, which is a crap division?
I don't know. I also don't care.
Yeah, wins and losses have nothing to do with it. I mean,
they don't play against real defenses in college. I don't care.
The interesting thing is the next executive, whoever it is going to look at the roster and see, are you a quarterback away from contention, from a perennial contender, or does the roster need to be overhauled? And if they go to the latter, roster needing to be overhauled, then you're not going to draft a quarterback too. Then it does play into trading down. I mean, my dream scenario, if you can get down to 4 or 5, draft your left tackle of the future, who's going to be there for the next 15 years, God willing, and the next Trent Williams, and you build up the O-line and D-line in those first 3 rounds, then you can bring on a free agent quarterback that, is in that Cousins mold. I don't know who's available. And then you build up a roster like that. But are we a quarterback away from contending? No,
you're not. And you would argue that if you certainly the teams like the Texans didn't think they were quarterback away, but when they got the right guy, it turns out that they were much closer than they realized, right? I just don't think Washington's in the same space. Washington's in a space where the argument really is how much better would Howell have been with a line like the 49ers offensive line or the Eagles offensive line, right? Where there's been significant draft capital and free agency acquisitions to bolster that unit. And I think it's very similar to what the situation the Bears are in. Like, are these serviceable quarterbacks on sweetheart contracts? Can you make it work and just surround them with enough talent to be successful? I personally think yes. And I'm also not sold on the quarterbacks that are available. And frankly, you look at all of the teams in the playoffs right now. Flacco is leading the Browns. Okay, they found him on his couch. Tua, it was a top 5 pick. He wasn't first or second, but fine. Mahomes was a 15th overall pick, if I'm not mistaken, or 13th, something like that. He wasn't 10. Thank you, but he wasn't a top 5. Allen with the Buffalo Bills, I believe, was also I believe he was mid first round, 7th overall, right? Dak was a 4th rounder. Jordan Love was bottom of the 1st round. Stafford was 1st overall. Goff was high. I don't remember where Goff was.
1st overall.
He was 1, right?
Yeah. And Jalen Hurts.
Jalen. And then you got
Mason. Hurts was in the 2nd.
Jalen was.
Hurts was in the 2nd.
Jalen was in the 2nd.
And you got Purdy, who was the last pick of the draft. You got Lamar, who was a very high 1st round pick, and then Mayfield, right? So
Lamar was 32nd, but 1st round.
Right. But more than half of the teams that are currently in the playoffs have either journeyman or serviceable above average quarterbacks. I don't think you have to swing and hit. You don't have to. Like, that's why I keep going back to this. A guy like Herbert, Fields, who's Stevie? Who's your guy that's backing up Joe Burrow?
Jake Browning.
Jake
Browning.
It up.
Pull up the picture.
I'll pull it up for you. Davis Mills. Like, even the dude that backs up Dak. Who's the guy that backs up Dak? I'm blanking on his name. Cooper Rush. Any of these guys, personally, I'm okay with.
So, Joe, can we all agree, honest to goodness? We can go 4 for 4 on this one. Sam Howell has done enough. As frustrating as he was those last couple of weeks, as bad as he looked, he's done enough to compete for the job next season.
Yes,
you guys crushed me all season because I was on the Sam Howell train, and now
I was the conductor of the train.
Yeah. All 6 minutes that Stevie watched, he was very in love with Howell.
I will crush you all for thinking Howell has done enough, because he has done enough to be your backup. He has done enough to let you let Jacoby walk.
The Steelers are in the playoffs with nobody at quarterback.
The reality is you don't get into
playoff teams.
Yes. Can I talk?
9 of them have 1st round pick quarterbacks. I mean,
raise my hand.
My point is they're not first.
They are 1st round pick quarterbacks.
They're not high.
You even called on me and he cut me off.
Go ahead, LP. Go ahead.
Come on,
my
FP.
point
Buck
is
up, man.
you don't. God, you don't pick in the top 2 in the NFL draft very often. And if
Dante,
you're
we just picked Chase Young like 5 minutes ago. What are you talking about?
how many years ago was that?
4.
That was,
Yeah.
4 years ago?
Ron,
That's
season
a long
1.
time.
That's not a long time.
Your win percentage on picking a quarterback is probably 20% if you're lucky. You got to take a swing every time at a quarterback until you hit one.
My point is just don't take it that early. Trade with somebody will be desperate.
If you want to trade back 2 or 3 picks, fine. If you want to trade completely out of the first, no.
Grab this Penix kid from the second round and see what happens.
No.
I mean,
who do you want, FP? You want them to draft Caleb? You want them to trade up?
I want. Listen, I don't want what you want. If I swear to God, if we trade back the first round pick and I end up with Justin Fields on this goddamn team, I'm going to flip tables. No, God forbid me from what I'm. No, we do not want Justin Fields on this team.
And by the
Justin
way,
Fields,
Sam Howell will beat Justin Fields.
Yes, Sam Howell would. And then all of a sudden, you've wasted that high first round pick for nothing.
Fields, you guys,
Justin Fields smoked the Commanders. If you guys remember,
the team
that was Ron Rivera's fault. That wasn't Howell's fault.
That
was literally Justin Fields and one receiver.
The dude's got
100 yards in the first half.
I would love to see you walk around with Andrew Wiley protecting you. You would get mugged in the street if Andrew Wiley was protecting you. Okay, this is ridiculous. What Sam Howell did in those first 14 weeks with no offensive line, with a horrible running backs. Brian Robinson is terrible. Jahan Dotson doesn't exist.
There's so much collateral damage from Ron's mismanagement of the roster that I think it's unfair to say that Howell can't do it. I don't think he's the guy that's going to win you a Super Bowl, but he's the guy that can run the offense.
He's 22 or 23.
And definitely get you to the playoffs because he's in the mix with most of the other quarterbacks that are in the playoffs. He has more yards than most of them, actually. Yes. Right? So,
but still,
that's a misleading stat.
When you're at the second overall
50
pick,
times.
Yeah, I mean,
it's tough to use a second overall pick on an offensive lineman. I understand that too, but like if you need more, I agree with what Stevie said at his core of his statement, right? Which is you have more needs than just quarterback.
Right, but we have the draft picks to address those needs, and the hope is
do you truly believe
your head coach use those correctly?
FP, do you truly believe that Caleb or Drake are the answer for quarterback for this franchise?
No, but I truly believe you take a chance at them and you build a great roster around them. CJ Stroud, if the Texans didn't hit on all their other draft picks, right? And if you look at the records right now, they hit on the majority of their draft picks. And I think the Lions hit on the second most of just high production draft picks. The Texans, yes, CJ Stroud did great, second overall pick, but it's because they hit on everything else. What you guys failed to enter into the equation is all the other draft picks the Redskins have. You have 2 second-round picks and a high one from the Bears. And then you have 2 third-round picks, and then you have a fourth round. And then
that's great, FB. You have no right tackle. You have no left tackle. You have no right guard.
You also have the most cap space in the league right now. So while yes,
but it's also not a desirable post. Let's be real here. Nobody wants to come here.
No, that was back in the day.
That's changing with the new ownership.
Stadium still stinks. The fans are disintegrating.
You can't be a desirable destination. You can't be a desirable destination for a head coach and not for an actual player.
I want to challenge you just on one thing, FP. The Rams and the Lions, right? I mean, the Lions in particular. Goff was a castaway. He's a castaway. Nobody.
McVay went to the Super Bowl with him. He wasn't a castaway.
Yeah, but when they traded him,
traded for him. It was a Band-Aid.
It was looked at as a negative. Yeah, yes. It was. You take him as a negative.
That was more of I want somebody more that fits my scheme over anything else. It was McVay saying I need somebody that fits my offense better.
I'm not talking about it from McVay's side. I'm talking about it from the Lions side. They took it at the Lions were like, we're not a quarterback away. They basically traded him in a salary dump to LA. And then it turns out that Goff can play with a better coaching. All this to say,
I'm backwards on it. The Lions accepted Goff. They traded away Stafford.
Yes, Stafford
but he's saying the Rams salary dumped Goff to the Lions.
Okay, but they
no one wanted Goff. What don't you understand about that?
He's very passionate about Goff.
Nobody. I don't understand why we're discussing this. He took the Rams to the Super Bowl, and he's doing great with the Lions. What's the issue that we're discussing here?
And I want to
get. What's the point we're trying to make?
Are we going to get to the playoffs so I can piss on the Eagles? Pete from Philly is waiting for me. Okay.
Well, yeah, the text messages. There's so much text messages from Pete from Philly, but I mean, I'm fine. Look, do you have any LP? Keep it brief, but do you have any final thoughts here on who you actually want to be coaching this team and what they should do with the second overall pick?
No, I want them to pick a head of football ops who picks a coach who collectively pick a quarterback.
Dude, go on record with a name, LP.
Give me something.
Give me Adam Peters and Ben Johnson.
I stole mine.
Okay. And who's quarterback you would like to see here?
I actually wouldn't mind sticking with Howell. I mean, I've been okay with him.
No, I can't. I can't be a.
I wouldn't.
I'm out. Now.
I'll skip Stevie because he's going to say the same names. FP, who you got?
I want Harbaugh, and I think you get Drake May because the Bears are going to take Caleb.
And GM. Oh, he's the GM too.
No, not GM. GM, I want the Niners guy.
Adam Peters.
Yeah. I mean, it just works. They've probably already worked together. If you give me Peters and Harbaugh, and then they're both like, yeah, May's our guy. How does that not work?
But why would you be opposed to Fields if you can get him for basically nothing?
Joe,
because he's not an upgrade
the only
over
human on earth right now that is high on Justin Fields. The entire Bears franchise and fan base does not want him.
You got to get out on the brothers. You got to get out on the brothers quarterback. I need a corn-fed Michigan.
Did you forget earlier in the year when Justin Fields said it's coaching's fault that I'm playing bad? I don't want that guy here.
Did you see how he finished the season?
Not in the playoffs.
Not in the playoffs. Yeah, that's fine. Not in the playoffs. But
okay,
he was
nothing else matters.
Quarterback down the stretch.
Yes,
what do you mean nothing else matters? Oh, Justin Herbert's a terrible quarterback. Oh, we can't have him here. We can't
Nobody said Justin Herbert's a terrible quarterback.
Herbert is not a winner.
Oh my God,
he's not.
Thank God, it's something I don't agree with for LP. Perfect.
All right, let's go. Let's talk about some of these matchups. Stevie, I know you're dying to talk about the Eagles. There's no chance you're picking them to upset the Bucs at home, are you?
No. I'm excited to see the Eagles implode on it was a Monday night. They got the Monday night game.
They got Monday night. I don't know why they would put that so late, but yeah.
Nick Sirianni is the biggest fraud. I love that he's being outed as a fraud.
The most punchable face in the NFL.
The only person who's second behind him is Jalen Hurts. The whole Eagles to lose the locker room. I texted this to Pete from Philly at 10-1 to somehow lose your locker room shows you are the worst coach in America, and it's going to be great to see them implode.
It's also a great story. It's also a great story for Tampa. Well,
that's the positive. Nobody cares about the positive side.
I know.
The negative.
I mean, FP's been killing the Eagles basically since they barely beat the Redskins in week 3.
They're frauds. They've always been frauds.
There's no chance you're taking them either.
And we're sleeping on how talented the Eagles are. For them to be imploding like this, they are seriously talented.
AJ Brown's been making pouty even before the injury this past week. He's been making pouty faces. He's been doing the hand clapping, like throw me the ball.
I mean, to have somebody like DeAndre Swift and never running the ball, it's unheard of.
Yeah, this will actually damage Sirianni, I think, long term, right, in his coaching prospects. If they lose in an embarrassing fashion, I mean, do the Eagles not fire Sirianni?
You have to fire him. I mean, the leash was even shorter for Peterson, who won the Super Bowl. Sirianni, sure, you got to the Super Bowl once, you lost, but why is his leash longer? He's done nothing.
I mean, he completely lost the locker.
It was amazing to see him celebrate a Sunday night win against the Chiefs when no one realized at the time the Chiefs sucked.
Right. And walking through the tunnel. Yeah. So punchable.
Yeah.
LP, who are you taking in this game? Bucs or Eagles?
The Bucs. Yeah. I mean, the Eagles. Yeah, everything you guys said, right?
I'm on
imploded. They lost both their coordinators last year, right? Both their coordinators actually are doing well, right? In Indy and in Arizona.
But they can't go. I mean, to FP's point, they can't stop anyone across the middle of the field. 5-yard plays consistently go. I mean, it's like talking about the Redskins. Like 5-yard plays turn into 15-yard plays consistently with the Eagles defense, and like Yeah, I don't think anyone's picking. That's the weird. It's also the smallest line. I think it's.
I mean, the Commanders couldn't score for squat this year, and we're dropping 30 bombs on them.
Yes.
We just had a terrible defense to go with it.
Yes. Okay, so we're all on Bucks. Let's keep it in the NFC. Let's go Dallas hosting Green Bay. Let's go LP first on this one.
And Dallas is a talented team. I think they're too good to lose. I think Dan Quinn brings that veteran coaching and the playoff experience to them, and I think they get over the hump and they win.
You got Dallas. Okay, FP, who you got in that one?
I'm going Green Bay, and I think it's just the ghost of playoff mishaps that are going to screw Dallas over. And I think you're going to get the same Dallas team that lost to the Cardinals that just show up and shit the bed. They're just not going to get it done.
I'm surprised you don't have faith in them. I think they close out the season, especially. I mean, in Washington, we saw them last year kind of stumble into the playoffs. They played their starters all the way through against the Commanders.
Weak schedule, and they're just they don't really pass the eye test for me. Sure, they can score points, but
but how does Green Bay pass the eye test for you?
Green Bay. I mean, you can't name
Green Bay
Dobbs.
He doesn't pass the Green Bay doesn't pass the eye test for me. I'm telling you, it's just the ghost of playoff mishaps. McCarthy is the only head coach that's on the hot seat who's gotten his team into the playoffs.
But there's a reason for that. I think he's only on the hot seat because Belichick might be available and Jerry Jones has an affinity.
No, I mean, he's been on the hot seat every year.
Belichick is coaching the Dallas Cowboys. Are they a lock for the Super Bowl? Is he that good of a coach?
I mean, the Cowboys' biggest failures is that they're not like 100% prepared and strict, right? They have some loosey-goosey plays where, like the end of that Lions game, they're just escaping with a win. That doesn't happen under Belichick.
I mean, he's also got other teams calling Quinn for head coaching jobs. So for Jerry to completely overlook him would be massively dumb.
That's fair. Stevie, who you got in this one? Cowboys.
With serious trepidation, I picked the Dallas Cowboys, but serious trepidation. I mean, it feels like like FP said, Green Bay up and coming. Jordan Love gets hot. Jordan Love's got an arm on him, man. That boy, he throws off that back foot.
I mean, it's the making of the Jordan Love legend. Where
it feels like a legacy game. Yeah,
this would be a huge coming out win for him if he can go into Dallas, the second ranked overall team and a powerhouse of a team, and upset them. That puts Jordan Love into that discussion of best currently playing.
Yes, but at the same time, Dallas is so talented and should beat them handily at home. And so, I think Dallas will. I think it's going to be a really close game.
I don't think Green Bay has been an easy team all season long.
No.
They've given everybody some challenges.
Yeah, but they also haven't faced, I think, an offense as potent as Dallas in a couple of weeks now. And CeeDee Lamb he's as close to unguardable right now as any receiver in the league. I mean, I know people are going to hype up, Tyreek and some of the others, but CeeDee, I mean, he catches everything.
Ever since Irvin called him a jag.
Yeah, well, exactly. You're 100. Yeah, that's right. But he's willing to run across the field like Tyreek is and take a ball. He is very, very good. And what I saw them do a lot against the Commanders on Sunday was run Tony Pollard. I felt like that was a dress rehearsal for what's coming. Get 2 touchdowns on Green Bay and then just run and just you get to that next round. So I'm not comfortable with it, but I think Dallas is just too good. I think Dallas is too good. If Jordan Love pulls this out, I think his stock is going to rise considerably and very quickly. The matchup of the first round for me is Detroit hosting the Rams. You guys know I have a deep affinity for McVay and for what the Rams have done. They've got receivers everywhere. That defense is a little bit porous at times, but in my heart, I want the Lions to win because it gives me fan as a
I thought you were a Rams fanboy.
I know. I'm 100%. I know. I love the Rams.
All of us have new favorite teams. I thought it was the Rams.
But the Lions give me hope. The Lions give me hope that the Commanders can follow suit after 50 years of being just a doormat in the league and winless seasons. And I mean, there's just I feel like the Lions have the right mix of the ability to run and defend in particular. I think St. Brown can get open. He can do what he can do. It's a dome game. I don't know. In my heart, I do want the Lions to win this. FP, do you see it differently?
If they still had Laporta to go this week, I would probably lean Lions. But him being out, I'm probably going to give the edge to the Rams. And I'm more intrigued. I mean, we kind of discussed it earlier. I'm more intrigued about Goff coming back and proving himself to McVay than anything else. I think that's a great storyline, more so than Stafford facing the Lions.
Okay. LP?
I think the Lions win. They're at home, and they play much better at home than they do on the road.
That's
It's
it?
true.
That was like
Yeah,
a Chat GPT response.
Yeah, it's very. Yeah, exactly. He typed it into a prompt and see what comes up. Okay. Let's switch over to the AFC here. I'm going to start with the worst matchup of the weekend, which is Buffalo hosting Pittsburgh. I can't imagine anyone's picking Pittsburgh to win this one. I mean, unless it's like super snowstorm and it's just going to be a run fest.
I mean, with TJ Watt
Who's
out,
playing quarterback? Is it Rudolph?
It'll be Rudolph.
It should be Rudolph.
Your only fight is if you still had TJ Watt, and since he's out,
He's confirmed out. I haven't looked.
He's out.
He's out.
Okay. I mean, so it would be, yeah. Stevie, is there any chance you're taking the Steelers over the Bills? There's no chance, right?
No. Bills are going to be super dangerous right now.
Yeah.
Listen, hey, remember this before the playoffs start. My word of wisdom. The team that wins the Super Bowl is not the best team. It's the hottest team. And right now that category goes to the Buffalo Bills,
Rams,
Tampa Bay Bucks.
I don't understand how this is your words of wisdom. The hottest team gets to the
Who else said that?
That happens in all sports.
Who?
Everybody.
List somebody.
Wait. Actually, Stevie, we didn't get your pick on Lions Rams. Who you taking in that one?
I love the Lions.
Because they play better at home.
They're playing hot right now.
It was a Hard Knocks 2 seasons ago when everybody fell in love with them.
I cannot wait for Hard Knocks.
Stevie fights are what I'm here for right now.
All right, what's the next game? Hold on. So we're all on the Bills. So we got let's do Kansas City hosting the Dolphins. I'm on the Dolphins. I don't believe in Patrick Mahomes. I don't believe in Kansas City.
This is in Kansas City?
In Kansas? Yes. Tyreek's coming home.
Because the Dolphins got
coming home party. It's simple, right? If the Kansas City Chiefs are trying to hire Eric Bieniemy from under the Commanders, they don't believe in their own offense currently. Nobody should believe
in
the
real story. That can't.
There's no way that's true.
That's crazy.
I see it, but there's no way.
That's crazy. I'm on the Dolphins. I think the Dolphins. I think McDaniels will actually have to coach this week and get them focused. And I think Hill wants to win this game.
I think the weather is going to be single-digit temperatures and snow the day before.
I don't know if Miami's back, but Achane can run. I mean, the Dolphins have 2 very good running backs.
Yeah, plus Tyreek has pulled Tyreek things off in Kansas City in those temperatures before.
Yeah, what about the rest of the team?
Yeah, it comes down
and they have so many injuries. Both linebackers are out.
I'm all about the Dolphins right now, and I'm picking the Dolphins, but not because the Dolphins are playing well, because they are struggling.
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
But the Chiefs are terrible. The Dolphins need to get healthy immediately.
So I was asked the question yesterday about Mahomes being elite. Is he elite?
100%.
By the numbers, yes.
Yeah.
But even the eye test, I think the eye test he passes.
I mean, he's always had elite talent around him. Yeah. So what does he look like when Kelsey retires and he just has a bunch of
Tony looks like Sam Howell.
FP, I said something similar, but like every with the exception of Brady, everyone had talent around them. Like I don't know if that's the fair. I'm just saying there's something about Mahomes, like from an eyeball level. Like I don't know. Maybe it's all the noise around him with the brother and the wife. I don't know. There's something in my mind that just blocks me from saying this guy is just elite.
The bigger storyline
is knock him for having an annoying wife. Okay, ridiculous.
Or the brother and the
listen. The bigger storyline is McDaniel's going to show off the calves and the ankles in the 9-degree weather.
No, if he's smart, he's got to show up in the bubble suit.
FP, you always show off the calves, okay, baby? It don't matter what the weather.
9 degrees outside. I'm just saying.
Flashback sauna suit. No.
Is he going to be rock? Yeah. I want him to rock like the off-whites and tearaway pants. I want him to go 1990s LL Cool J.
You inject some morphine into him, okay? You put something to tranquilize him, and you show off the calves.
I don't remember who the Seahawks were playing. Was it last year's playoffs where they all showed up? They were warming up, and it was like Sub-Zero, and they were all out there in shorts.
Yeah.
6-pack, just to, I don't know.
Just to prove that
I think Miami last year had they went up to play some cold weather game, and all their shirts said, "I wish it was colder." Something like that.
I think it was in Buffalo, if I'm not mistaken. But,
yeah.
Okay, one last game here, and it's the Texans hosting the Browns. Stevie, you first on this one.
Who cares?
Oh, come on.
It's a good game.
This one matters.
I mean, I'll take the Texans because I haven't watched either of them, and Jake Browning's girlfriend's not in it, so I don't know.
Okay, thank you so much for that insight. Thank you. LP, who are you taking in that one?
I'm taking Flacco and the Browns. I think experience wins.
FP.
Experience, Flacco, CJ Stroud. There's a big.
Yeah, we
got it. We got it.
You guys all looked at me like
it wasn't an original. It wasn't a great thing. That's why we didn't react.
Played more than the other guys. So I'm gonna take the guy who's played more. Okay.
It's a simple one, right? Defense wins championships. The Browns have the better defense. Edge goes to them.
The Browns also have the better offense, in my opinion. I think Jerome Ford is an underrated running back. I think Amari Cooper has shown that him and Flacco are in a unique state of connection at the moment. And Flacco is, I mean, Flacco's playing with house money, 100%. He doesn't give a damn.
But that CJ Stroud, Nico Collins connection is kind of special right now.
If Tank was still healthy, I would probably pick the Texans, right? But I think the Browns they're good enough defensively where they can scheme. Maybe Nico just slow down a little bit, but I don't think the Texans have a good answer for Jerome Ford or Amari Cooper, to be frank. And
they don't have a real run game either. So the Texans,
which is weird because Dameon Pierce was the league leading rusher last year. I don't understand that how they've fallen so hard on the run game.
Oh, but Dameon is an interesting. Yeah, I mean, I followed him last year, fantasy stuff, whatever. But he's like half of the production from last year. Mm-hmm. So like he just wasn't part of the game script, so to speak. I think this time around. Yeah. But I mean, that's it. Those are
maybe Bobby Slowick's not the greatest coordinator.
I think people sleep. Listen, to take a rookie quarterback and somehow to take a rookie quarterback and do what they did with a rookie receiver as well, I give him a lot of credit, right? Because his number one pass catcher was Tank. Nobody saw either of these guys doing. Remember, the Texans were supposed to be a 3, 4, 5 year rebuild themselves. They're in the playoffs, right? And everyone is under contract. They also have a ton of money in cap space to be aggressive in the offseason too. Like this is a well
not to draw a parallel to a conversation earlier, but they also had the same problem, right? Davis Mills played pretty well. Could be a serviceable veteran starter, and they went out and got CJ Stroud. Because when you're at that height in the draft, you
have to take a shot at the quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, the Bears did it with bench Trubisky, right? They traded Trubisky for a bag of peanuts, and they went with Fields, right? I mean, it happens. I just don't believe in the guys that are coming out right now. I just don't.
But you never do.
I mean, you have to believe them more than the like the Kenny Pickett's and all the other first round picks that came out there. They're higher prospects than
why
that.
But why burn such a if you can get 2 other first round picks or another first and a second and just go down a couple so you can take
we talked about this 45 minutes ago.
I
shouldn't have said anything.
Like you can get a left tackle that'll make Sam Howell look like Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Do that instead.
I don't think Sam Howell has the ceiling to look like Tom Brady.
You're a height supremacist. You just want a tall guy. I mean, I want a tall guy too. I want like 6'4", 6'5". I want a statue playing quarterback. Somebody who doesn't move. Just stand there and throw the ball.
Isn't there a racism, ism, ableist? Don't be ableist.
I want Kirk Cousins. You guys are sleeping on this. We need Kirk Cousins, Marvin Harrison Jr.
Kirk Cousins is going to demand $65 million a year to play quarterback.
Now, you know what did change my perspective?
We have too many holes to pay Kirk Cousins.
Just pay him. It's fine.
What changed my perspective on the QB thing is, I don't know if y'all caught Hard Knocks last week with Tua's helmet cam.
Yeah.
Y'all seen that?
Yeah.
That is the freaking hardest position I have ever.
Well, Tua's also not tall. He's 6'1".
Well, that's incredible.
That's the problem.
You couldn't see who he's throwing to.
Right.
He's throwing to I mean, it's actually incredible. And that's before like the offensive linemen in front of him put their hands up, or the defense.
They weren't even really rushing. I mean, they weren't even rushing. He had a pocket.
Like Myles Garrett running at you and then jumping with his 37-inch vertical. Like,
right, so
it's
we're all in agreement. We should go for May with the 2nd overall pick. Who's
no, I don't want him. Thank you. I want the guy who looks like a Roman god. I want Harrison. His body's amazing. He's DK Metcalf. I want him.
Listen, when we were picking around 4 or 5, and I said 1,000% get Marvin Harrison, everybody in the chat shit on me about wanting Marvin Harrison.
Okay, well, I've seen the light now.
His dad's kind of nutty, isn't he? He killed somebody, right?
Yeah.
There's some clickbaity story about him.
We gotta get Pete from Philly on, because I was in Philly, right?
Pete from Philly, I don't think is not gonna talk to us. I think until
he's coming on next Tuesday after the Eagles lose.
Yeah, the Monday night thing too. I'm not a big fan, but whatever.
Yeah, they're throwing favor to the Eagles so Jalen can rest his finger or whatever.
We're just gonna ignore the aliens in Miami. Was that the consensus?
That was a wild story.
Are you gonna be like the MS mainstream media here and just ignore it?
The MSM. I don't know what to make of it, but
if there was 50 teenagers fighting and setting off fireworks inside a mall and not one leaked picture or video from 8,000 cell phones has posted it,
or security cams, or the register cams, or any of the retail locations inside.
Can we just say conspiracy theorists are having a moment in this country? Okay. I mean, they're probably batting like 1,000 right now.
LP is about to drop in 4 seconds.
I want to see the proof that it was an alien. Like, there's 8,000 people there. No one
shadow walking around. No, there's a video of it, like an 8-foot shadow walking around.
I saw the video a million times. I cannot tell you what that is.
We could talk about what it was.
There's too many lights from the cars that casted a shadow.
I also forgot to wish you all a happy Entrapment Day on January 6th.
Thank you so much, Steve. Thank you. Let them all go. Thanks. Free them all. Thanks. Okay. Any final thoughts? This is a fiery one. Not so much from LP, who is sleepwalking, but everyone else, brought their A game.
The parting shots are my favorite. Okay, when you get the shot as you're leaving, I love it.
52 minutes. Okay, you can say whatever you want at this point.
LP, don't say what you're about to say after we make fun of you sleepwalking.
I'm gonna bring us down another rabbit hole.
No, don't you dare.
Go.
Just do it. What's the rabbit hole? Tell me. What's the rabbit hole?
DC United. Nobody cares. I will immediately.
He cares, and I medium care. I medium care because the Super League is coming.
Hey, DC United is a dear partner of ours at our organization. Nobody can say anything.
Well, LP's the biggest fan.
And I work for their biggest sponsor.
Can you give me some tickets?
He leads the Ultras.
I literally just got an email about pre-sale tickets.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to.
Not for that second game I just saw.
Not a paying business. Let's get LP some on-field creds. Let me look into it, LP. I'll look into it. FP, any final thoughts from you?
We didn't really discuss the playoff exclusive on Peacock, but that's a giant.
Why is everybody so upset about this? Well, who cares? Everyone already has Peacock. What's the difference?
Who has Peacock?
Go on Reddit and just type Peacock stream, and there you go. Like, get
for a playoff game to go exclusively on streaming. I'm
so tired of people. I don't have $5. Why don't you have $5? You don't have $5?
We're not selling 15 houses a month, Joe.
You can still have $5.
Listen, then why are you cord cutting if money is not an issue?
One less DoorDash fee. Okay, you'll be fine. Or sign up for a free account and watch commercials. It's not.
I swear, Joe, if this house next door it's going on the market. If I see that the buyer is represented by Joe Azer, okay, I'm gonna be salty. Don't steal any more houses from me.
Oh, okay, yeah. I'm treading on your territory. You're right. I forgot you're an agent too. Yeah. I forgot.
Steve, if you can't lock down your own neighborhood.
I'm trying. This guy's got tentacles everywhere. Are you kidding me?
When you're showing houses, are you rocking the McDaniels pants? Because it should go in your favor.
FP, you're sleeping on. Mo's in the McDaniels pants. Anytime I'm awake, I'm in the McDaniels. Sometimes when
you got caps like that, you can't blame the guy.
I'm gonna go show us your ankles.
Stevie, any final thoughts from you?
Show the world your ankles.
No. That's it, man. That's it. It's good seeing all these Pauls here. I haven't seen LP in like 2 years. Okay, this is crazy.
It's nice of you to join a show every once in a while there, Stevie.
Why don't you swing by Arlington sometime? This guy.
guy.
Arlington.
LP
Way
can't
outside
go
my
more
radius.
than 5 miles outside of his house. He put himself on house arrest.
I mean, honestly, I don't like leaving my radius either. Also, there's a coastal flood warning, and my kid's school keeps calling. Like, I think they're shutting down. We don't live anywhere near the coast, but apparently the schools are shutting down. Okay, boys. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. Happy NFL playoffs. Happy new ownership. Happy Ron being fired. Happy. Thank you for everyone that hung out with us for the last 55 minutes. The show is called DTC, Defeating the Curse. Available on all social media platforms and anywhere you get your podcast. Just type in DTC. Our faces will pop up on YouTube as well. If you want to watch the show, you're more than welcome to do so. Thank you for hanging out with us. Until next week, we will be back. We'll see if we can track down Pete from Philly. We'll do a full recap of the NFL games, and we'll slowly start to pivot into LP's favorite time of year, where we talk about the NBA, where FP slowly dies just a little bit more every single week. Until then, we are out.